Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Sander and Jess Valentine.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. So good to see you again.
So nice to see you again. I'm excited to catch up on everything, Kate, because I know I missed a lot. Like, I have so many questions.
Oh, yeah. I feel like life is a blur. Like, I feel like I'm suffering short-term memory loss because everything is happening quickly, day by day.
Okay, so last we chatted, you were not in your new house yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I was. I think. Was I? I think so.
I think it was like in the works, but I don't know. You were either way, like you were maybe like in the middle of moving over. I feel like you're working as a therapist almost now, whether that's interning or whatever. So like, take me back to the beginning.
So July, I finished all my summer school classes. So I managed to fit 4 classes in 2 months. So that pretty much like ruined me. But I had all of August off. So that was really nice because I just got to like veg and, sit like nest in my house and, like hang out in my garden, whatever. It was really nice. And then my fucking cat, sorry. He's like being very emotional right now.
Which one is that?
It's Porcini. Let me see if I can show you him. Maybe. Can you see him? Oh, Porcini.
Oh, Porcini.
Yeah, he's snuggling.
So cute.
So then school started, and part of my school is that I'm now doing my internship. And so I am like a baby therapist now. And it's very weird. It's great, but it's weird at the same time. So I work at an addictions facility. I won't give too many details about it, but I will say it's an addiction facility. So I have learned all about like medication and Suboxone, how we were talking about before. And I was like, I don't know anything about this. I know much more now than I did before. But yeah, I'm dealing with, populations that have drug addiction, alcohol addiction. So I'm definitely right in it. And then when you're interning, they're like, okay, we've like taught you. I mean, I'm supervised. So they're like, here's some clients. So I'm like doing one-on-one sessions and like leading some groups. And it's been, it's just been like really weird. It's good though.
Are you like, what is my life? Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so crazy.
Like I was going to school last night and it was just like dawning on me that I've been in school for 3 years. Like, holy fuck, this has just felt like forever, and it has been forever. You got
1 year left, right?
Yeah, I have 1 year left, and it has become really real now because I'm like actually getting to counsel people, right? So I'm just learning a lot. Like all of it has been in theory. School's way harder for me than talking to people.
It's harder than talking to people. Yeah. That makes sense though.
I mean, I don't really like process all the information from school. It's like hard for me to. I'm not really good at reading out of my textbook and like knowing what all the concepts are. Like I have to like watch a YouTube video and like write about it. And we get tested on everything at the end. So essentially you have to like restudy everything that you learned in school anyway, like the major stuff, so that you pass this test at the end so that you can become licensed. So I know that like whatever I didn't retain, I will relearn in the next like 6 months. So I've been kind of like letting myself off the hook. And then just while I'm in these internships, like leaning on my supervisor to be like, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Kind of thing. But yeah, like
proud of you.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm proud of me too.
It's so crazy. Yeah, you should be. Holy shit.
I mean,
it was like with Nance?
No, I'm not working with Nance. But it was like it was just like my first client, my first session by myself was just super weird because I was like, oh, fuck, what do I do? I mean, I know what to do, but also it caught me off guard that they just like throw you to the wild and they're like, okay, start talking to people now.
Well, I mean, the good thing is like those people don't particularly know that you are new, or do they?
Yeah, I mean, I disclose like, hey, I'm an intern. I'm being supervised. They know the other counselors.
But it's like
they know
low cost or free or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, they know what they're getting themselves into. Some of them are mandated to have therapy, and so for me, it's just like I feel like our community with the squad is so desperate to get that sort of help, and like. Then I'm now working with people that like are resistant to it. So that was hard for me to learn as well. Because I'm like thinking everyone's like us, where it's like, oh, I'm so excited to go to therapy.
So many people are still like, and I don't want to say maybe even anti, but just don't believe in it,
right?
If you will, which is so ignorant, but whatever.
Yes.
That's just weird to me.
Yeah. And I think at the, the very core of it, like people just want to feel heard. And so I think, at the place I'm at specifically, they've had, it is a site that takes interns regularly. So I think that there has been some cycling of people coming in and out. And so, I'm sure that gets daunting as well when you're in long-term recovery. You can't necessarily depend that you're like, if you connect with somebody, they might not be there forever, So it's just been a big learning curve, but I'm into it. I feel like I made the right decision. It's just like my internship is at 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, girl, I'm like messed.
These people
my
want to have
schedule is messed up. Well, you have to think about like if you are on a medication that prevents you from relapsing, you want to get that medication as early as possible. And the facilities are often open before people go to work and, to accommodate. So kind of once that opens up for the day, we have to be there. So
how long do you have to be waking up at 6? No, not waking up at 6, going to work at 6.
Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I do it twice a week. Like a year and a half. I mean, it sucks. It's awful.
Oh my God. That's so bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You'd be like,
that was like my one complaint is like, I did it this morning. So like on days like today, I go before I go to work.
Oh shit.
And then I go to work.
Oh my God.
That's why I was like,
is this in person?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah. And then school went back in person for some of my classes. So it's like, I don't know, we went from having this COVID life and then all of a sudden for me, everything turned on at one time. It was like new internship, and I've been, I think since the last time we talked, I was telling you how I wanted to go back to the gym, like got a personal trainer. And that has been like the one positive thing that I've done for my mental health. And if I wasn't paying like a personal trainer, there's no way I would have been consistent. No way, no way at all. So I've been pretty consistent with that for like 3 or 4 months now. And that's like my one thing that I do for myself. But again, that's also early in the fucking morning. I'm like I'm not a morning person, but I'm trying.
I know.
I like have to be.
I was going to say, please don't tell me you do that before work also. But.
Yeah, I have to. So basically, I wrote like friends and family an email before the semester starting saying like, hey, in addition to 10 hours of school, I have 10 hours a week of interning and I have a job that I work at 30 hours a week. So like, goodbye, like it was more of like a, please don't forget about me, but like also you
don't
probably,
be offended.
you're not going to, you're not going to hear from me.
I actually thought that was hilarious and so on brand for you.
You think so? Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I've never heard of
it's neurotic.
Good. I've never heard of anyone doing that. I'm like that, but it's just like, hey,
one of my professors said something. She was like, when you're in school, you have to like reach out and tell your friends and family, like, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. And she's like, and also it's good for them to know so that they can check in on you. So I was like, okay, once the reality of the internship settled in and like how much time I really wasn't going to have when they dropped that 6 a.m. schedule on me, I was like, oh, I'm never going to see anyone ever again.
Yeah. Nope. Goodbye to
because my schedule is like, go to work, then you have night class till nighttime, then I have to hurry up, go to sleep, wake, it's like that's the whole week. So I don't really have
what time do you go to bed?
I try to go to bed at like 9:30 on the nights but then I have class till 10 sometimes. So I like come home, immediately put on my pajamas and try to go to sleep, which is difficult because I can't really function on little sleep.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I had my first day off in a while, like day off, like proper day off with nothing on my calendar. Actually, that's a lie. We apparently did have something on our calendar. We had like an art opening and we
it?
totally we forgot.
Uh-huh.
We saw someone today and she's like, "How was the thing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know." But anyway, my point is yesterday was like my first day off and God knows how long. And I slept until almost 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I only woke up because I heard the dog. Like we woke up like, at 10, let her outside, fell back asleep. And then I heard her like fiddling around and I'm like, holy shit, I could have slept more, but I was like, I need to wake up. It's like 1:45
or you'll never go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I love sleep. It's so hard to like function.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like y'all can't, I don't know if you can see this or not, but like I keep yawning. I'm so tired. Like I'm just constantly, I had to wake up today. Now you're going to laugh at me. I had to set my alarm for 9:30 and I was like, this is some fucking bullshit. Because I rescheduled someone because she needed me to. And because I'm a very nice person.
You're taking morning appointments now? That's not like you.
11. So it's like not even, but there was a miscommunication and she was leaving town today and whatever. But I'm dead right now. I'm dead to the world because I had to wake up at 9:30 and I went to bed at like 3. But it is what it is. I don't know, man.
And I've never been a morning person. Like I try. That's just not how I'm built. So it's been a struggle for me, but I'm hanging in there.
I actually like just had this conversation recently with Cameron and I was just like, I don't know how you were a barista because you had to be there at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, that is the one thing that I said throughout, like, not even before high school. I was just like, I will never have a job as an adult that I need to wake up like this early. And that is only more of a recent thing, thank God. But even throughout my whole like school career, high school career, whatever, I never got used to waking up that early. Like it does not matter, even if you do it 5 days a week. Like it's just not normal. It does not come natural for me at all. And I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't come natural for me either. I feel good if I do it like regularly. Like I can get into a routine, but like my natural tendency is to like not do that. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's the therapizing thing. Like I'm excited now. I'm like, oh, okay, like this finally is starting to make sense. But
that's so awesome.
Working for free sucks, obviously.
Yeah.
Sucks big time.
When will you not be doing that? Like when can I like refer people to you? You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm trying to figure out now. I'm like, I know that I'm still interning. So that's what I'm talking to my advisor about, like, obviously even after I graduate from school, I'll still be licensed for I'll still be under supervision for a couple of years. You have to like, same as you, like apprentice for a certain amount of hours. So I have to do that as well. But in the meantime, I will be able to take clients. I just have to like disclose, obviously I'm pursuing my, LPC. So, and I think some people are fine with that. Some people might not be. That's fine for me.
Yeah.
I'm just excited that it's like finally happening.
I know, it's crazy.
And I started like over the summer, I'm finally in addictions classes. I'm in like family and couples therapy classes. So that's just like a whole other ballgame that I thought about couples, but never really thought about family therapy before. And now that I know about it, I'm like,
so you're in all different like genres?
They teach us everything. So they're like, if you want to take your electives on addictions, that's what I'm wanting to specialize in. But I'm also interested in couples. I don't know if I'm interested in families. That can be kind of, that can be difficult because I think it would be really amazing if you could get your whole family to go to therapy. But I also think that like someone's going to fuck that up.
Yeah. That's got to be like a mandated like divorce type thing.
Yeah, or I think people with like littler kids maybe sometimes seek that out, or like, troubled teens or something like that. So yeah, I don't know that I will like be interested in doing that, but I am interested in doing couples. So learning about that has been fun.
Yeah. And like I feel like a few months ago, for a minute we were kind of talking about, oh, do we want to keep going with the podcast? Do we not want to? And it was right when you started learning about like the addiction thing and stuff. Like I have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So do you think that you look at sobriety in a different way, like through a different lens now, or do you, it's just like you have like your personal, and then you also have your like clinical kind of,
I mean, I think I'm still like on my
viewpoints, or-
high horse of like recovery is much more like democratic than it used to be. It's not just AA, because even in our books, it's like refer them to AA, and it's like, no, there's like other shit now. So I definitely still feel like solid in that yes, that's very helpful, but like also that's not the only way. But I think the things that has been the biggest impact lately has been, I mean, so, okay, I'm interning at this site and many people are not sober, right? Like they're actively coming and they're trying, or maybe they're not trying, but they're still coming, right? And I think after a few weeks,
sometimes it's mandated, right?
Yeah,
like
for some people it's mandated, and also for some people you can get into a program even if you're not clean yet, even if you want to be. So,
okay,
like if you have that intention, you can still sign up for a program, but you will like be submitting urine tests, and they do drug test people. So I can see like if you're telling me the truth or not. So many people don't tell the truth and don't really have an intention of trying to stop. And I think in the first few weeks I was like, oh, okay, I'm just at a place where like no one actually is going to get sober, and had kind of like been like, okay, like put my hands up. And then my supervisor said something like, you know, I still have hope that everybody can recover if they want to. It's like, if they want to, though, is the key word there. So, like, don't treat anybody like a lost cause, because you just never know. And I think I needed that reminder, because I do believe that, like, anybody can get sober who wants to. But I think when you just see people in the cycle of relapse, you kind of are like, eh, you know what I mean? You're like, well, I don't know what to do or say now.
You're like, whatever, your life.
And I think, like, you know, we've talked about, like, if people relapse, you know, there's complex feelings attached to that. And the other thing that I've learned is that relapse is totally normal, like 100% normal and expected and part of the process. So I think the normalization of relapse for me was a learning curve, because it's something we've all been so afraid of, right? Like the shame and the guilt and everything that comes along with it. But like my teachers and my supervisors are like, this is 100% normal. And like, it's nothing to look down on. If you have a slip up, like, again, that doesn't negate all the time that you had where you weren't using anything. So I think those have been the two biggest takeaways now, is like relapse is normal and there is hope for everybody.
Which we knew that relapse is normal.
Right. I mean, kind of. I feel like I judged people though. I've relapsed. You've relapsed. Like we all have, you know?
Yeah.
I've been in that cycle of not being able to quit. I just didn't know that it was normal. I thought there was something wrong with me, you know?
I think it sometimes takes a few tries to stick,
right?
But who knows? Do you think that since you are sober, that you come from a more biased approach as a counselor or whatever?
What do you mean biased?
Therapist?
How?
Because you want like someone who drinks and doesn't have a problem with alcohol, they might not have the same empathy and or be like, just fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's not that hard type of a thing.
Right.
Like, do you think it changes I guess you can't really tell because you haven't done it both ways.
Right.
You've only done it as a sober person. That,
you know, I don't really like lead with my sobriety, but I will comment occasionally. Like, I know how hard it is to string a few days together. Like, I will sprinkle that in. And I think that does build empathy, but also I think it's also different when you're dealing with different substances. Like, quitting smoking, you know what I mean? Quitting drinking, quitting cocaine, quitting heroin, quitting PCP, like all of them have different, you know? So I think that, I mean, honestly, I think just after witnessing what I've been witnessing, I'm just so happy that alcohol is my problem and it's not something else.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like,
It's
wow,
like,
thankfully I only have this.
yes. But I mean, yes, I'm not a but.
Right, right.
Yes. But on the other hand, I feel like it almost would be better to have an addiction or whatever to something that was controlled. Like it's so easy to get alcohol. We're
Right.
surrounded by it.
True.
Well, we're not surrounded by like, I mean, not that we aren't, like there's always ways to get things, but
Right.
it's not like you could just go into a 7-Eleven or,
Right.
a store and get drugs. So I don't know. I guess
So I
don't
do
know
feel
if I
kind
ever,
of
like,
like if I am talking to people that have a different addiction than me, then yeah, I'm sure they're looking at me like, this lady has no fucking clue what I've been through. And that
Well,
is
they don't
true,
know.
but that also doesn't mean that I can't help them or have faith in them. You know what I mean? Or listen
Oh
to
yeah.
them.
No, I was wondering if you get more annoyed with them for
No,
not
honestly,
wanting it for themselves.
I have more compassion, I think, because I've been through it. And I feel like
Okay.
we've said a million times, you're not going to quit until you're ready. So
Yeah.
you have to sort of honor that in other people. Like they might not be
Yeah.
wanting
That's
to do
what I was
that.
curious. I was
And I have to be
curious
like,
if you
okay,
had-
well, let's talk about why not, you know? You just have to kind of go with
Yeah.
it.
So are you going to specialize, do you think, in like addiction?
I think I'll get my
Or you're not sure
certificate in it, but I don't just want to do addictions.
Yeah.
I think I'll start there because obviously I think
Sure.
that's why I went to school. But I also, like I said, want to deal with couples. I was just
Mhm.
nervous about dealing with more than one person. And now that I'm in those classes,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm understanding like how you can sort of like wrangle things. And now I'm like rewatching couples therapy on Hulu or whatever channel, Showtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
See, but
kind of like studying her again.
Yeah, I feel like something like sometimes it would be harder like to have more than one person,
Yeah.
but then also sometimes easier because you could be like the translator, like be the voice that's not getting through.
Yeah. And I can be
So-
the person, like I can be the enemy then so that like they can gang up together. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
yeah,
otherwise you're just ganging up on your partner or vice versa. But if I can insert myself in the mix and like they can deflect the anger to me or frustration or whatever and
like
kind of like
bond over hating me.
yeah, but I was just more worried about like taking sides because I mean, as a therapist, you have to be
Objective
pretty much
or
like
whatever, right?
okay with whatever
Switzerland.
happens. Yeah, and
it's funny
I feel like I would
sometimes
just
you can
always
totally
take
tell when a
somebody's
therapist
side.
is on- yeah, sometimes you can totally tell when a therapist is on one person's
Right.
side. My sister just got her or is getting her, I don't know, her CASAC. Do you know what that is?
I think it's a CACD.
CASAC. I don't know. CASAC or something. I don't know. It's some sort of she's not going to be a therapist. She's going to be like a social worker for like addiction and stuff. She works with in a group home for like children or like teenagers that have like addiction issues and stuff. And some of the stuff she tells me is just like crazy. Like she doesn't talk about work too much, but sometimes it's just like, ugh. Like did I tell you she wanted me to foster this baby once?
No.
And I'm like, girl, back
You're like,
up.
honey, I don't get up before 9:30.
Yeah. He was like, this is like a year or two ago, but yeah, she was working in a different group home and there was like a family of like 4 kids and like the youngest was like 2 or something. And their parents were like fucked, you know? And I guess they all saw like the dad like cut the mom's finger off or something, like super toxic, but then she like went back with him. But they ever like the court ordered restraining orders. They're like, well, while you're with him, you can't have your kids. And then my sister was like, they're gonna separate them. Can you foster? I'm like, don't manipulate me. I am.
Well, you're not a foster parent. You have to get like certified. They can't just like offload a kid to you.
I don't know. It could be really easy.
I mean, maybe for the night,
you know?
but like they can't. I don't think legally they can like turn a kid over to a random stranger.
Well, I think it would definitely be like a process of some sort, but
Yeah.
I was just like, oh God, I would love to do that one day, but
Yeah, me too. I've actually thought about getting certified.
yeah. And the thing is, I finally feel like I'm at the type of place in my life where I could mentally, emotionally, I just don't actually have like the time
Not right now, yeah.
to like, spend on a kid. If it was like COVID again and we couldn't work, sure. But anyway, I just went off on a tangent. So
yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately stories like that there are so many sad family stories. You know, I think the other thing that it's made me realize is that I was able to sort of not catch my addiction early on, but sort of we had higher bottoms, you know? We weren't like living on the street, didn't have our kids taken away from us, didn't have a physical dependence on our substance of choice. So it makes me just feel lucky in a lot of ways that I did have a support system to reach out to. And like, you know, I did have people checking on me. I did have, you know, the resources to hire Jody. So I think in a lot of ways, like I have so much more respect for people that are caught in the cycle because everybody's just doing the best that they can, even if they're not ready to quit.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, it's just so easy to, you know, fall back onto that and cheaper and your comfort level. And it's just easy to get stuck in that cycle. But it's pretty crazy. I haven't watched like Intervention in a really long time.
Me either. It's getting harder and harder for me to watch stuff like that too. And also I learned that Intervention isn't really like it's kind of frowned upon. Like it's not really that great of a means of therapy. Like a surprise intervention usually doesn't have great outcomes. You're like bum rushed by your whole family.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know, obviously it makes for good television and you can analyze it, but they're like, you know, that's not really, or at least what my professor said, not really what you should be looking to do. Or hopefully that's not happening.
That makes sense because that's not someone choosing to quit on their own free will.
Yeah.
The only way I could see that it really would be is if it's someone who like constantly is like asking for help and can't afford it or whatever. But I mean, it's really nice when you see people that are like still sober. Like you know, I hate when it's like so-and-so checked themselves out of rehab after 18 days and is now living on the street. You know, it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
Such a bummer, but it's so funny that we're recording. I did a sobriety tattoo today.
Did you? What of?
It was something that I did a long time. I drew it up for her like during COVID or something. It was a gravestone that said like booze and then like her sobriety date. Cool. And then a banner that said like rest in hell.
I like that.
Instead of rest in peace. Yeah. So yeah, I think she was like 5 years sober. So awesome. It's funny, like so many people, like more and more I'm hearing of like being sober and it's just very interesting and very nice and refreshing.
I do have some kind of big news.
Tell me.
For me, I guess. So a couple months ago, one of our friends, her name is Nicole. I'll say her name on here. You know Nicole. I
know Nicole. Yes.
So Nicole. She was like, I'm trying to quit vaping this weekend. And it just like put the thing in my head. And I was like, oh, wow, good for you. Like you can do it, you know? And then I was like, okay, it put the little worm in my head. And I thought about it for a month and I said, okay, when I get my next period, after my next period is over, like that's it. I'm going to be done. And then I sort of like dreaded it. And I actually got my period at your wedding. And it was like the only time in my whole life that I was like, I don't want this period to end. Like, I'm not ready. And then it came and went, and she was like my accountability partner, and I was like, we're doing this. And she was like, okay. And we would check on each other, and actually TJ did as well. It was a group effort.
Was he vaping?
And yeah, I mean, we're hardcore vapors.
I knew you are. I didn't know he was. Wow.
I think we just got to the point where like
nicotine, right?
Yeah, nicotine. I think we both just got to the point where like we both knew that we should quit, and there's never really a good time to do that. So we were like, let's do it now, I guess. Let's see what happens. And we did it. Like, I'm successfully not a vapor, but then of course I relapsed and like bought a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
Which I think is okay because again, the smoking has always been, it's like way more gross and
it's harder for you to quit vaping than smoking or cigarettes, right?
quitting vaping was the hardest thing it might have been harder than, well, it wasn't harder than quitting drinking. It might be close.
Different. It's different.
It was hard. What? The physical and like just the phantom, like hand to mouth. Yeah. So we did that and I'm very proud of myself. And I'm honestly not being that hard on myself about the smoking because to me, I know that it's not a long-term thing. I'm like, okay.
So how far along in the pack are you?
Far enough.
Okay. So do you think you'll buy another pack?
I don't know. I'm like I'm trying not to think that far and I'm not trying to give it that much power, if that makes sense. It was because I was at work. It was like at work at my day job and my coworker was smoking and I just for some reason it's like the same like thing that can make you relapse with drinking and I was like, oh, give me one of those. And like before I knew it, like I had, you know what I mean? It was like felt naughty, felt fun in the moment. And then I was like, why did I do this?
Did TJ used to smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, we both did.
I never can recall him with a cigarette.
Yeah, and then we quit that like years and years ago. And like I think I had another bout during COVID where I was trying to quit vaping and started smoking again.
I remember, yeah.
So, but the quitting vaping is like a huge achievement for me.
How long has that been now?
It was like the week after your wedding.
Damn, okay.
So it's been a minute. That's good. Yeah. And I haven't wanted to break the news because again, you don't like totally trust it. But now I'm like, no,
that's
not
good.
Going back. Yeah.
So I have a question because I don't really know about vaping, but do they make any with like 0% nicotine?
Yeah, they do. But I think for me, it's just this constant fear of like, am I making myself sick or like what sort of long-term, it's always going to be in the back of your head that like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing and you're doing something that's harmful to you. And like vaping felt less dangerous than cigarettes for a really long time. And I was like, but we also like don't know.
No,
really?
It hasn't been around long enough.
Yeah. So I was like, this probably isn't a great idea long term. Like anything that you're breathing in,
I can't see how it would be much better.
Right.
I feel like
it's not on fire.
Bad and it's in a different way. But no, I was just wondering if like that's a thing that you could do if like you start vaping again in the future, let's say.
No, I refuse. I'm not like even letting myself like entertain that because that's like drinking. It's essentially going back to drinking. But yes.
Not you. But my question is if you just need the physical phantom, like mouth, what's it called? Oral fixation. Could you just do it with 0% nicotine?
I guess, yeah. And the shitty thing is like anytime you're like quitting smoking, they always say like have an e-cigarette. And I'm like, no, this is a problem. Like we're all trying to quit our fucking e-cigarettes now. And this is way harder. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, TJ has had no relapses. So we're very proud of TJ as usual. He's normal.
Yes.
And Nicole, I believe, is still on the straight and narrow as well. I think nobody has really relapsed but me, but I'm still proud of myself.
Well, that's all exciting. Mm-hmm. And the last thing that we didn't really cover much was the house. How are you loving it?
Loving it. I mean, we've definitely I had so many classes that I had this summer for summer school. So all that tuition. So we haven't really gotten ourselves anything for the house yet. We're still sort of we're not living out of boxes, but like there was some furniture that the previous owner had left here that we're still using. And I don't think either of us have had. What room are you
in right now?
This is my office. I did put up, it's a bed that I'm going to make into like a little day bed.
Cute.
And I got these really funny sheets from Target. Let me see if I can get one to pull up here. I got these sheets at Target in the kids section, and they're little feelings.
Like, that's awesome.
And I was like, I'll get that for my little office because I'm going to be a therapist.
Pillow Fort brand from Target, Pillow Fort. The children's brand is the best. They have the best stuff.
Maybe that's what they were. I don't know. But I was like, sheets are expensive. I'm going to go look in the kids section.
Yeah.
And then I found some.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love Target. I haven't been in so long. I think after my my thievery, I haven't really been back because I'm so scared.
Yeah, please don't.
I still have banned. Guilty conscience from that. But Yay. Now, what's going on with your old place? Renting it out?
Gone.
You sold it?
Gone. Yeah. Gone. Bye. I can't
Amazing.
tell you like how good it feels not to have to worry about that situation anymore. Like that was like a huge weight lifted off of both of our shoulders, TJ and my. And we still get like random emails from like we're
HOA,
still on
like, nope.
we're still on the chain, and I'm
Nope.
like, you're fucking dead
Nope.
to me. I hate this. Thank you for making my life miserable for close to 5 years. Bye.
Wow.
It was sad saying goodbye, like because we had done so much stuff there, and like evolved. But no, it's so nice to have more than one room. It's absolutely insane.
You guys did a lot of work to it too.
Oh, the other sober treat that we got, well, it's not a sober treat, but I guess it was like our we quit vaping treat, is we got those electric razor scooters. Game changer. Love them.
Kate.
I love them so much. I wish it was warmer.
Where do you put your dignity though when you're on it?
Right in my helmet, girl. Yeah, I wear a helmet.
You wear a helmet too.
Yeah, I do. They're amazing. Okay. They're so fun, and anybody
but you have a Vespa.
I like all things Scoot.
Oh my god,
Scoot's big and tall. You got to get one when you come over to my house. I'm going to teach you how to ride it, and you're going to be forever changed.
I won't step foot on one of those things. I hate them so
I love them.
much.
It's so fun.
I'm sure it is, but I don't think anyone over the age of like 11 belongs on one of them.
Fine, then I'm not coming to see you on it.
I don't think you could possibly
I can take it on the ferry.
What?
Uh-huh.
Are you talking about like, are we thinking of the same thing?
Like those kids, like the scooters for children that are adult sized and electric? Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
100%, yes.
I
don't know what to call them because I have like I have a Vespa. So I'm like, do you call these like, are they scooters? Are they?
I think you call that a scooter. Well, I don't know. And then
e-scooter?
Call your Vespa
I think it's an e-scooter, right?
I have no idea. I don't know, man.
I've just been calling them like razor scooters that are electric.
Razor scooter. That's exactly what.
Yes.
Oh, yep. That is the thing I hate. Yep, that's it.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry. I'm dead.
On
that note,
that's
I'm all caught up on things.
Oh, I cut all my hair off. You can't see it, but maybe next time.
You did?
Yeah, my hair is really short.
Congrats. But you can still put it up.
Yeah, and normally I needed a hairdo that like I could get out of the shower, like blow dry it, straighten it, and it will be like the same hairdo for 4 days because I just go from like place to place, and so I cut it all off, and it was a great decision. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I won't, but
no,
I'm still trying to get mine to grow out.
Yeah,
still because I don't want to keep paying for fucking extensions.
How long is your hair now? Where's your hair at there? Well, you cut it short. I feel like a while ago, didn't you?
It's like right to like the bottom of my nipple, I guess. So it's like a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's getting
Do you have any extensions in now? It looks full.
No, but the thing is my hair's so thin. That's the thing, really. It's really fine, really thin. And I don't have a lot of it. Like it looks like I'm balding always. Or like, I don't know if it's because I have like blonder roots.
I bet that has something to do with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like noticing I'm getting gray hair. Some grays. And I'm like, I'm kind of here for it, you know, like a little Stacey London action. But the thing is, I'm at that weird point. Like the last time I dyed my hair was before the wedding. So 2 months. So like my roots are like down here. You can see it's like lighter. White. So but I don't know if I want to keep, I don't know if I want to keep dyeing it dark. So I'm at that weird in between stage where I'm just kind of trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah. I mean, I love your hair dark. It's very vampy. You're like a vixen with dark hair.
It's easy. It's easier. I always go back and forth. I always want to either like black blonde or like platinum.
Me too.
Yeah. But I don't know. Because I don't know. I'm getting older. And gray. It's crazy. But I don't hate it. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I should just stop talking about that. Well, Until we meet again.
Be nice to yourself.
And don't forget,
hangovers
suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.